I watched around 20 videos about YouTube strategy and made exactly 0 videos. Meanwhile, my wife kept asking me, when are you actually going to publish something? And honestly, I had no answer because I was stuck in this loop of preparation, convinced I needed just one more book, one more course, one more tutorial before I was ready. But here's the irony though. As a Muslim, I've literally been training for repetition my entire life, learning how to pray 5 times a day, eating rice with every meal, yes, breakfast sometimes as well, and hearing why can't you be more like your cousin at literally every family gathering. But somehow I completely forgot about the power of repetition when it came to creating content. Today I'm going to show you the math, actual math behind why volume beats talent, why reps beat preparation, and why the only thing standing between you and success is your unwillingness to just start doing the thing over and over again. We're going to talk about the repetition protocol that took me from 0 videos to over 200 published videos, and how you can apply the same principle whether you're trying to build a business, learn Arabic, or finally memorize the surah you've been planning to memorize for 3 years. So let me paint you a picture where I was about 2 years ago. I wanted to start a YouTube channel. I had the ideas, I had the message, I even had the name picked out, but I kept telling myself I wasn't ready yet. I needed to learn more about hooks, about repetition, about storytelling structure, be professional about it. So I bought courses, I read books, I probably watched 47 different videos about how to make amazing looking YouTube videos without ever making one myself. My mum would have actually been really proud of all that reading if I was studying to be a doctor, but I wasn't. I was just avoiding the actual work. And look, I get it. Preparation feels productive. It feels like you're making progress. You're learning, you're taking notes, you're planning. But here's the thing, you're not actually doing the thing. The first time I prayed one of the 5 daily prayers that we do as Muslims, known as Salah, I definitely messed up. I forgot which part of the prayer I was on. I probably said something in the wrong order. I was constantly looking at my dad to see what to do next. It was awkward and uncomfortable. But by prayer number 500, my body just knew what to do. The movements were more automatic, the words came naturally. That's repetition. Same thing happened with my videos. Video number 1, absolutely terrible. I stumbled over my words, my lighting was off, I rambled for way too long. Video number 10, still not great, but was noticeably more confident. The camera didn't feel as scary as before. Repetition had rewired my brain. Here's what nobody tells you about confidence. You don't build it first and then start. You build it through starting. You don't wait to feel spiritual before dragging yourself out of bed for Fajr at 5 a.m. in the winter. You just do it, and the feeling then kind of follows, and it makes you want to pray more and more. Even if you have to literally crawl out of your bed like you're trying to escape some sort of fire, you just got to get out and do it, and that will build your confidence. So if you're stuck in preparation mode right now, paralyzed by the gap between your vision and your current ability, I'm going to tell you something that you probably don't want to hear. You don't need to buy another course. You don't need another book. You don't need to watch another tutorial. You just need a repetition protocol. Alex Hormozi has this thing he talks about constantly: just do more. Want to learn sales? Do 1,000 sales calls. Want to become a great photographer? Take 1,000 photos. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but that's the whole point. Here's the wild part. You automatically get better just by showing up. Your brain literally does the work for you through repetition. It's not even about trying harder, it's just about trying more. When I first started making YouTube videos, it felt so awkward. I didn't know where to look at the camera, my voice sounded weird to me, I second guessed every single word. Now, after making 200 videos, I feel completely different. Not because I got talented, but because I put in the reps. The key is actually finishing things instead of spending forever polishing them. With YouTube, here's what I do. I publish a video and then immediately, like the same day, I start working on making the next one better. That's how you iterate. You learn by doing, not by planning. You learn from the last video you made, not by the 10 videos you're planning to make. Kobe Bryant, the famous basketball player, said it perfectly. If you train hard, the game is easy. And he used to take thousands of shots in practice so that when it comes to game time, his body just knew what to do. And he didn't really have to even think about it. My nephews go to Qur'an, which is this after school program for maths and English, and I believe it comes from Japan. They absolutely hate it. They'd rather be playing PlayStation, honestly. But the system works because it's built on pure repetition. You learn something, you answer the questions, and then you learn something else, and then you answer more questions, and you repeat. And the idea is that you spend 30 minutes every single day building the habit through sheer volume. It's kind of like how we used to complain about going to Arabic class or Islamic school during the week when we were kids. And I'd be telling my mum, why do we have to go again. But look how much we remember now that we're adults, and alhamdulillah, it's that repetition and constantly going that has made a massive difference. I remember studying for exams in university, and when I had done like loads and loads of practice exam questions, like really done them, not just read through them, I'd actually look forward to the exam. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. Why? Because I had put the reps in. I had evidence I could actually do it. It's the same with learning to ride a bike. You cannot read a book and suddenly know how to balance. You have to fall down, get back up, adjust and try again. Your body learns through repetition. That's the only teacher that matters. So here's my question for you. What are you preparing for that you should just start doing? Okay, so if repetition is the key, here's the next question. How do you actually get yourself to do the reps? Because let's be real, if it's hard, you're not going to do it. If there's too much friction, you'd find excuses. One of my favorite philosophies is Kaizen. It's a Japanese concept that's all about tiny continuous improvements and something that I speak a lot about on my channel. The idea is start embarrassingly small. Make it so easy you can't say no. James Clear talks about this in Atomic Habits. If the habit is too difficult, you just won't do it. So you have to reduce the friction as much as possible. And he actually recommends when you first start a new habit, just limit it to 2 minutes. When I first started YouTube, I went all in with complicated camera equipment. I bought this Sony a6 400 DSLR camera. I also got like an XLR mic. I bought with an audio interface, like the whole thing. And I thought, you know, I need to be professional from day one. And you know what happened? All that friction just killed my consistency. Settings, everything up took 20 minutes before I could even start recording, and it took up so much space. And by the time I was done, I was already mentally exhausted. Then I simplified everything. I just started using my phone. That's it. My phone and natural light. Suddenly I was publishing way more videos because the barrier to entry dropped from 20 minutes of setup to literally just opening up my camera app. Same thing happened with working out. I used to join a gym, you know, get the membership, pack the gym bag, drive there. All that friction meant I barely went. Maybe twice a week if I was lucky. Now I just work out at home, roll out of bed, do some push-ups, done. And guess what? I'm actually consistent now because the friction is gone. Here's the beautiful part. When you start stacking those reps, even easy, imperfect reps, you build evidence for yourself. If you're releasing one YouTube video per week for 12 weeks straight, you've proven to yourself that you can do it. The evidence gives you the confidence to level up. So then you can then try to improve the quality, try new formats, experiment with thumbnails, or just whatever you want. But first, you just need the habit of showing up and shipping. Think about Salah, which is prayer that Muslims do 5 times a day. The best way to pray is to literally just stop what you're doing, make wudu, which is where we kind of sort of just wash our hands, feet, and a few other parts of the body, and pray right where you are. And you could pray 5 times a day anywhere. Low friction equals high reps. So look at whatever you're trying to do and ask yourself, how can I make this embarrassingly easy? How can I reduce this to just 2 minutes? What can I remove? What can I simplify? What setup is preventing me from starting? This is another one from Alex Hormozi that completely changed how I think about success. Volume negates luck. What does that mean? It means if you want to make sales, reach out to enough people and it becomes inevitable you'll close a deal. Want to grow on YouTube? Publish so much content that success becomes mathematically unavoidable. It's not about hoping you get lucky with one viral video, but staying in the game long enough and putting enough reps that luck doesn't even matter anymore. I watched this Netflix documentary on college American football. There's this player called Diego Pavia. He said something that really stuck with me. He said, if you work hard, you will be successful. Not you might be successful, not you could be successful, but you will be successful. If you practice relentlessly and stack enough repetitions, there's no doubt you become amazing at whatever you do. It's just math. It's halal hustle means compounding your investments. Mark Armstrong is a YouTuber who fixes these kind of crash supercars. It's a really good channel and I highly recommend people watch it. And he has his merch that says hard work beats talent. And his whole story backs this up. He taught himself how to fix cars by just trying different things over the years. There was no shortcut, no secret technique. He just kept doing the work. His success was inevitable because he refused to quit. The more you do something, the quicker you get better. It's really that simple. Kobe Bryant used to fit in extra training sessions every single day. While other NBA players were doing 2 to 3 practice sessions per day, Kobe would do 5. Over the years, the gap becomes a canyon. The most successful people aren't necessarily the most talented. They're the ones who practice the most. Tiger Woods hit 500 to 1,000 golf balls per day as a junior. His dad made him practice relentlessly. The volume of deliberate practice separated him from anyone else. It was magic. It was repetition. We can apply this same principle to a deen too. I'm trying to memorize the Qur'an by doing a little bit every day, just a few lines. But the more I repeat those lines during my 5 daily salahs, the faster they stick in my head. The same principle, just reps. You want to know the secret to getting good at anything? There is no secret. You just do it more than anyone else. And I know what you're thinking. But what if I'm doing it wrong? What if I'm just repeating bad habits? Fair questions. But here's the thing. You'll figure out what's wrong by doing it. You can't learn what you're doing wrong by reading about it or watching videos about it. You have to do the thing. See what doesn't work, adjust and do it again. That's iteration. That's growth. That's how you actually improve. Here's the final piece that ties everything together. You have to track what you're doing. Arnold Schwarzenegger tracked every single workout, every set, every rep, every weight written down in a notebook. Why? Because seeing his progress motivated him to keep going. When he could look back and see that he'd actually added 5 pounds to his bench press or done 2 more reps than last week, it gave him proof that the work was paying off. I've been doing the same thing with my daily habits, reading Qur'an, drinking water, publishing content. I track all of it. Every time I check off a habit, it reinforces the behavior. When I see a long string of check marks, it's proof I'm showing up, and that matters. Because here's the thing about good habits, payoff is long term. When you read Qur'an for 10 minutes a day, you don't immediately feel different. When you publish a YouTube video, you don't immediately get subscribers. The benefit is delayed further down the line. But what about if you skip a good habit, or if you don't work on your YouTube video today? It feels great in that moment. You get to relax, watch Netflix, scroll Instagram, but that has long-term consequences. Tracking keeps you honest. Peter Drucker said it in The Effective Executive: what gets measured gets improved. If you're not tracking your reps, you don't actually know if you're doing them. And if you discover you're not doing them, you can adjust. So my challenge to you is just pick one thing you want to get better at, and start tracking it. Not obsessively, not perfectly, just honestly. How many videos did you publish this month? How many sales calls did you make? How many pages did you write? How many days did you read the Qur'an? Write it down, track it, watch the numbers stack up, because when you can see your progress, it becomes addictive in the best way possible. So remember, your first video would be bad, your first sales call would be awkward, your first blog post would be rough. And that's exactly how it should be, because that's rep number 1. And rep number 100, that's going to be incredible. So, barakallah feek, and I'll see you in the next one.